Hello, and welcome to today's webinar. Our R&D team has come through again with even more new and incredible additions to our Magna-Brands product line. This 30-minute webinar will focus on new taste solutions for reduced sugar and protein-fortified chocolate and cocoa. My name is Anthony Pavia. I am the Product Portfolio Manager. My colleagues, Mark Hines, Global R&D Director, and Rich Davidson, Senior Vice President for Sales, R&D, and Marketing, we'll be sharing with you some of our latest and most exciting developments. But first, a few items. The webinar is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be emailed to you when available. You can also find the recording on our website, www.mafco.com, or on our YouTube channel. Everyone is muted except the presenters, but you will have the opportunity to ask questions via the Q&A feature of the Zoom webinar. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Now to introduce the speakers. Mark Hines is the Global R&D Director for Mafco. He joined the company in October of 2017. He has 30 years of food industry experience. He previously managed the global R&D activities for the nutrition business of Ashland and has experience in consumer packaged foods and in food ingredients. Mark has a PhD in food chemistry from Purdue University. Rich Davidson is the Senior Vice President for Sales, R&D, and Marketing for Mafco. He joined the company in July of 2020 and most recently was General Manager of the North American Taste Group of the Fruit-Arome Division of IFF. Rich has 27 years of experience in the flavor industry and earned an MS in Food Science at Virginia Tech. And now Rich will take you through the marketing trends and drivers for the cocoa and chocolate industries. Rich?
Thank you, Anthony. And thank you for joining us today, folks. The use of products from the cocoa bean is extremely popular around the world. While chocolate as a confection may first come to mind, the reality is the cocoa products, such as cocoa powder, are nearly ubiquitous in the food, beverage, and supplement industries. Cocoa liquor is the product obtained from cocoa beans, but first the raw cocoa beans are deshelled, fermented, roasted to various degrees, and then ground to liquefaction, which is then considered cocoa liquor. Cocoa liquor primarily contains cocoa butter and cocoa solids. Both are extremely important to the industry, and cocoa powder is produced by mechanical separation of the cocoa butter from the cocoa solids. Cocoa powder is enormously popular in the ingredient business, with chocolate maintaining the top spots in terms of consumer popularity global in terms of flavor. Chocolate flavoring from the use of cocoa powder is one of the most preferred flavors for a wide range of food, beverage, and supplement products. Cocoa is used for chocolate milk, chocolate flavored beverages, both ready to drink and powdered products. Chocolate ice cream and frozen desserts are some of the most popular flavored products globally. And additionally, chocolate inclusions and chocolate compound coatings are used extensively in frozen dairy and non-dairy desserts. Chocolate is extensively used in bakery products, including cakes, fillings, toppings, icings, and glazes, as well as biscuits and cookies. In protein supplements, chocolate is also very common, and chocolate compound coatings are now used widely for bars for energy and protein fortification. Essentially, consumers love chocolate-based dessert products, doesn't everybody? From instant pudding mixes to premium chocolate desserts, and chocolate and cocoa have even gained considerable presence in the alcoholic beverage industry, now with chocolate stouts in the craft beer industry, as well as chocolate liqueurs. Alkalinization, or Dutch processing, is a process that neutralizes the acidity in chocolate, creating a milder, smoother flavor and creates a darker, more intense color. The Dutching process is used extensively in the cocoa industry. Chocolate confections are defined by a diverse set of global regulations, but in general, confections are made with ingredients such as cocoa butter, cocoa powder, non-cocoa vegetable fats, such as palm-based oils, sugar, lecithin as an emulsifier, vanilla, vanillin, and other flavors, as well as milk solids. As well, the quality of chocolate confections varies considerably from low-quality products to very high-quality confections created by master chocolatiers. Now we will examine market trends and drivers regarding cocoa powder as an ingredient and in chocolate confections. The global cocoa powder market, used primarily as an ingredient, is huge. The market has continued and sustained growth and is currently at about $12 billion. It is expected to grow to about $17 billion by 2028 as new, exciting, and innovative cocoa containing products continue to be introduced into the market. The global chocolate confection market is both enormous and growing. In 2020, when the market was valued at $208 billion, market projections now peg the global chocolate confections market at $224 billion, representing growth of $15 billion by 2025. Obviously, taste is a primary driver. As would be expected, chocolate is consumed primarily for taste. Even more important than price and quality, taste is a primary driver of consumer acceptance. Now let's take a look at the market. Chocolate is highly popular in Western European countries, and perhaps surprisingly, the second largest share of the market is in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Western Europe represents 1/3 of the global chocolate market. North America has the third largest share, followed by the Asia Pacific, and finally South America. So the market size and growth potential globally are robust for both chocolate and cocoa powder. However, recent changes in perception of sugar and sugar-related health issues have created an environment in which the consumer is now expressing more concern with sugar content in almost all food and beverage products, and product developers are listening. This slide demonstrates that among the leading concerns with consumers on the left side and the left bar graph, the leading concerns with consumers regarding potential health issues related to their diets, concerns over sugar content has overtaken the top spot as of 2020, according to the Innova Consumer Trends Survey. The slide also goes on to explain that sugar content has quite a bit or a lot of influence on the purchasing decisions for 68% of those surveyed. So clearly, the consumer of today, while enjoying their favorite chocolate treats, are beginning to become more selective based on sugar content. And while developers are listening and delivering these lower sugar products, the effects on the overall taste can be hugely significant. And the need for modulation and improvement of the profiles becomes much more necessary. In addition, and to continue to encourage less sugar use, governments worldwide have now begun implementing sugar taxes. In fact, as of 2020, 46 countries worldwide had implemented some sort of sugar tax. According to Dolar, quote, with sugar taxes having been implemented in more than 46 countries worldwide, and 87% of consumers trying to consume less sugar, the topic is top of mind, but without any compromise in taste. So given that the consumer of today wants less sugar with no compromise in taste performance, this factor makes taste modulation a big and important trend for 2022 and well beyond. And not only are governments now getting involved in the effort to reduce sugar, but the World Health Organization has now specifically called on manufacturers across the world to reduce sugar consumption. In 2015, a new World Health Organization guideline recommended that adults and children reduce their daily intake of free sugars to less than 10% of their total energy intake. These free sugars refer to monosaccharides, disaccharides that are added to foods by the manufacturer, the cook, or the consumer, and also sugars naturally present in honey, syrups, fruit juices, and fruit juice concentrates. Dr. Francesca Branca, director of the World Health Organization's Department of Nutrition for Health and Development, is quoted as saying, "We have solid evidence that keeping intake of free sugars to less than 10% of total energy intake reduces the risk of overweight, obesity, and tooth decay." He goes on to say that making policy changes to support this will be key if countries are to live up to their commitments to reduce the burden of non-communicable diseases. Worldwide intake of free sugars does vary by age widely and varies by location. For example, in Europe, intake in adults ranges from about 7 to 8% of total energy, where countries like Hungary and Norway, it's 16 to 17%, like Spain and the United Kingdom. Intake is much higher among children, ranging from about 12% in countries like Denmark, Slovenia, and Sweden, to nearly 25% in Portugal. There are also rural and urban differences. In rural communities in South Africa, for example, intake is 7.5%, while in the urban population, it's 10.3%. Interestingly enough, COVID-19 has also accelerated the war on sugar due to the consumer's perception that a low sugar diet is most likely to encourage a healthy body and by association, a healthy immune system, which is key in fighting COVID. But urging consumers to reduce their sugar intake has for the most part been met with mixed reactions. Some consumers look to switch away from overly sugary foods, but others are reluctant. But at least they were until the onset of COVID-19, which has provided a strong impetus to improve eating habits. So innovation in the consumer and trends will drive taste challenges. Sugar reduction and better for you ingredients, regardless of the reason, sugar reduction and better for you ingredients can create taste and mouthfeel challenges that can turn off the consumer. The addition of non-nutritive sweeteners, for example, can add bitter, unpleasant off notes as sugar is reduced. Fortification can lead to acidity, throat burn, and other unpleasant sensations. Plant-based ingredients can add bitterness and earthy off notes that detract from the flavor. Protein can add unpleasant, chalky, meaty, cardboard, and other off notes. In general, low sugar can create watery and thin mouthfeel when sugar is removed. And now my colleague, Mark Hines, will explain the latest Mafco products designed to address the latest trends and taste modulation needs in these fortified and sugar-reduced chocolate and cocoa products. Mark?
Thank you, Rich. Mafco has new solutions for cocoa powder-based products and chocolate confections that align with the increasing better-for-you initiatives in the global market that include sugar reduction and protein fortification. I am excited to explain these new products through application case studies that will include sugar reduction, protein masking, and the enhancement of cocoa flavor. Magna-Sweet is our line of Magna brands that is best suited for sugar reduction. Magna-Sweet is a clean label approach to sugar reduction, amplifies sweetness from sucrose or alternative sweeteners. Magna-Sweet has decades of success in sweetness enhancement in the food, beverage, and supplements industry. And we have a full line of new products to support many applications and, very importantly, many regulatory environments. Our first example is the full elimination of sugar in a chocolate milk powder that is reconstituted with milk, or that could be with water, to create a pleasing chocolate flavored beverage. The controlled or full sugar product is formulated for a 45-gram product that is then reconstituted in 240 grams of milk. We recommend 2% milk, but skim milk or full fat can also be used. The full sugar powder is composed of maltodextrin for the bulking properties, sucrose, and cocoa powder. The product that fully eliminates the sugar contains the same amount of maltodextrin and cocoa, but with stevia Reb D and our outstanding new sweetness enhancer, Magna-Sweet SWE061 at 70 parts per million in the beverage as consumed, not as the powder, but as consumed. The powder with no sugar added was rated equal to or better than the full sugar chocolate powder as reconstituted. The no sugar added product was described as sweetest and delicious and very rich. No panels believed that the no sugar added product was lacking in flavor or body. Magna-Sweet SWE061 is one of our best products for sweetness enhancement and works great in conjunction with stevia, monk fruit, erythritol, or other alternative sweeteners, and qualifies to be labeled as natural flavor in the United States and a natural flavoring substance in the EU. It is in powdered form and solubilizes readily, even in cold milk. However, for liquid applications, and perhaps for ease of use, we have two liquid versions of the SWE061, SWE063 and SWE064. Both are also EU natural and US natural. SWE061, 063, and 064 are excellent at adding a rounded temporal sweetness with a rich syrupy upfront flavor and sensation that is similar to a high sucrose product. Magna-Sweet SWE061, 063, and 064 are US and EU natural, but there are some category limitations in the EU. They are approved for beverage, they are approved for confections, but not in supplements. To address the challenge of sugar reduction in supplements, such as protein-based powders, we are now introducing a line of Magna-Sweet LE products that are permitted in supplements in essentially all EU categories. The new LE line has many benefits, including cost effectiveness at reducing sugar from 25% alone to up to 100% when using alternative sweeteners in conjunction, and even enhancing the mouthfeel. Chocolate compound coatings are used extensively in the food and supplement industry. Often consumers confuse a compound coating with actual chocolate confection, but when well designed, the flavor and functionality of a chocolate compound coating is outstanding, with improved temperature tolerance and improved coating capabilities. A typical compound coating may not use cocoa butter, but will substitute a non-cocoa derived vegetable fat, such as palm kernel oil. Cocoa powder is the typical source of the chocolate flavoring, along with other flavors such as salt, sugar, and vanilla or vanillin. Compound coatings are heavily employed for biscuits and bakery, bars, frozen desserts such as a coating or as a coating, and even coating ready to eat breakfast cereals and trail mixes. We're also seeing an increasing fortification of compound coatings, most commonly with protein, as another delivery system for protein. With the use of protein, obviously flavor challenges arise. We have a powerful line of Magna protein mask products that are effective in masking the off flavors that exist when a high content of protein is used for fortification. Magna protein mask line of products is your best solution for dealing with off flavors from dairy-based and plant-based proteins for a multitude of applications. And the example in our webinar is based upon whey protein concentrate added to boost protein. We have created a no sugar added chocolate compound coating with palm kernel oil and approximately 15% whey protein content. Additionally, we used alkalized cocoa powder, polydextrose for replacement of sugar, whole milk powder, and stevia as a natural clean label high intensity sweetener. The coating is ideal for bakery, cereal, trail mixes, and bars, and delivers a rich chocolate flavor. High protein content and no sugar, except for the residual natural lactose in the whey protein concentrate and whole milk powder. Two different Magna Protein Mask products were evaluated. Magna Protein Mask PM024LE and Magna Protein Mask PM022. In the tasting, the panelists recognized a protein flavor from the whey protein concentrate, described as cardboard, slightly cooked, and with a slight lingering bitterness. With both Magna Protein Mask products, either the PM024LE or the PM022, there was an elimination of the cardboard and cooked notes, with a clean finish where flavor from the protein was virtually eliminated and the finish was clean. The two products, Magna Protein Mask PM024LE and PM022, are both EU natural and give flexibilities in applications. Additionally, the Magna Protein Mask PM024LE is allowed in all EU categories, including supplements, where bar coatings would be more likely, and cereals, desserts, and processed foods. Our next application example is using a similar compound coating system, but for sugar reduction. Compound coating is based upon palm kernel oil, alkalized cocoa powder, sucrose, whole milk powder, and the no sugar added concepts use polydextrose for a bulking agent to replace sugar mass, and stevia Reb D for clean label sweetness. This compound coating is ideal for many applications, including frozen desserts, biscuits, cookies, bars, cereals, and trail mixes. We evaluated two Magna-Sweet products, each designed for a different industry need. The product with the best temporal sweetness profile is Magna-Sweet SWE061, which gives a rich upfront sweetness. The sweetness lasts through the profile in a manner similar to sucrose. Magna-Sweet SWE089 is also very effective, but is a more cost-effective option for cost-sensitive applications. Both products are used at very low use levels from 70 parts per million to 140 parts per million. In evaluating these products, the panelists observed that there was a lingering bitterness from the high amount of stevia used for effective sweetness, and yet a lack of full sweetness. The addition of MagnaSweet SWE 061, 70 parts per million, resulted in a more upfront sweetness, elimination of lingering bitterness, and a more rounded sweetness profile, essentially creating a product where consumers will not miss the added sugar. The addition of MagnaSweet SWE 089 at 140 parts per million gave a stronger sweetness perception, elimination or reduction of the lingering bitterness, and is a more cost-effective solution for eliminating added sucrose to a compounded coating when used with stevia or other alternative sweeteners. Both products are considered natural in the US, and SWE 061 is considered EU natural. We next explored sugar elimination in a chocolate syrup that could be used for desserts or to be added to beverages to create products such as a chocolate milk from a milk product. Formulation uses sucrose and invert sugar syrup for the control or full sugar version with some water, alkalized cocoa powder, and vanilla extract. The concept of no added sugar eliminated the sugar and invert sugar, replacing the ingredients with water, and used stevia Reb D and MagnaSweet SWE 071. Both products use potassium sorbate for preservative effects, which is particularly important for the no sugar added product with a high water content. The no sugar added product was rated very highly by the panelists with the incorporation of stevia Reb D and our new MagnaSweet SWE 071 at 500 parts per million. The product was rich in sweetness and judged equal to the full sugar control. MagnaSweet SWE 071 is another effective tool for sugar reduction or elimination in chocolate and cocoa-based products and is available in a liquid form. In our final application case study, we are evaluating a new MagnaTaste product to enhance cocoa flavor. There are cost pressures with cocoa usage, given the enormous demand in the industry. Cocoa powder, including lower grade cocoa powders, can benefit from the use of MagnaTaste to magnify desirable cocoa flavors. We formulated a chocolate syrup, similar to the previous example, but designed for dessert purposes again, or for adding to beverages, for essentially a chocolate milk. For demonstrating the functionality, MagnaTaste MT016. Both products use sucrose and invert sugar, alkalized cocoa powder again, vanilla extract, but the Magna-Brands concept on the right side differ from the reference product by the addition of MagnaTaste MT016 at essentially 140 parts per million, or 0.014%. The addition of MagnaTaste MT016 resulted in a much richer chocolate flavor. Panelists described a fuller chocolate flavor and also a more rounded overall flavor, giving more dimensionality to the flavor. The product with MagnaTaste MT016 was unanimously preferred by the panelists over the control product. Now I'm going to hand off to Anthony to summarize our presentation for today. Anthony?
To summarize our webinar today, Mafco, as a leader in the flavor modulation technology, has created a number of solutions for cocoa-based products and chocolate confectionery. We have strong, timely solutions for evolving and emerging better-for-you trends in the industry as well. We have developed a broad portfolio for various needs and for differing regulatory environments around the world. Our products are proven effective by both our own rigorous internal testing and by our customers. The Mafco team is here to help you on your cocoa and chocolate confections formulation challenges. We have a broad portfolio of solutions and knowledge on the applications. We are ready and eager to help you solve your most demanding taste challenges. Please reach out to your Magna-Brands representative or visit us at our website at www.mafco.com. Thank you for your attention today, and the webinar recording will be available shortly on demand. At this point, I'll take any questions submitted on the Q&A feature of the Zoom interface.
Well, it sounds like we explained it so well, there's no questions.
While we're waiting for people to type them in, I'll just explain that, this is a series of webinars. We do one every quarter. And we've had to introduce a large number of Magna brand products in the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. But what's important to understand is that we work a lot with customers closely. Collaboration is key to our success. And many times we'll create something that's more customized to the application. So again, we had 5 application case studies. In this case, the products worked quite well. But if you have a more unique challenge that's not represented here, we're glad to work with you. And obviously the information right here in front, my email address or Rich's email address, or going to our website at www.mafco.com and reaching out to us, because we love to work on these things. We try to address what's the industry really interested in. And I do see we have a question now, Anthony.
The question is related to the IFT 2022, asking if we will have a booth to display the products.
No, we don't. We will have representatives there, though. So please reach out to us and we can arrange a meeting.
And actually also, what we also do send demos that are ready for evaluation. So if there's a product here that you saw today that you'd like to taste, we can send those out to you for your own specific and individual tasting and to see if it's applicable for for the product that you're developing.
We have another one in the chat. If there are issues of cocoa suspended solids in chocolate drinks, can Magna Mouthfeel help to improve the taste here?
Well, that question's a little bit confusing. I mean, to me, that's a physical phenomena of cocoa solids settling out, I understand. And most typically, if let's say it's chocolate drink, chocolate milk, be typically a kappa 2 type of carrageenan that will be extremely effective at suspending the cocoa solids in conjunction with the casein. If the product's not high in protein or not high in milk solids, then often another product like xanthan or gellan. However, what's different for our product is the reality that we created more of a coating effect. It's not going to be a suspension effect, but rather a coating effect. So it can be in combination with other ingredients to help eliminate the cocoa settling and also have a very smooth, rich taste. Now, in the context of mouthfeel that we've not actually talked about today, or just very vaguely referred to it, we can low solid, really a low fat type of milk product, which I'm getting a little bit away from chocolate. But I mean, obviously in drinks, it helps to give more of a fuller sensation, like a full fat type of product. So I think chocolate milk might be the better example here, where you can have it with no fat, essentially with skim milk. But if you put in our new mouthfeel enhancers that I haven't referred to today, you're going to find actually these work very effectively, replicating more of the mouthfeel, like a 2%. Matter of fact, that will probably be our next webinar. We'll be talking about our groundbreaking mouthfeel enhancers that we're starting to get a lot of excitement in the industry. So there's a little bit of a preview for our next webinar. Any more?
Which protein types are in trends in chocolate fortification?
Essentially everything. Obviously plant-based protein, because chocolate without having milk solids in there is going to be a product all from plants. So there's clearly interest in putting in various proteins, pea proteins, things like that. They're going to be relatively mild for the protein fortification. But dairy proteins as well, particularly if it's got a milk base already, like a milk protein. So virtually everything, we are very equipped. Really get more to the point is we're extremely equipped to deal with the off flavors of plant proteins. which tend to have more of a green or grassy flavors than dairy proteins. But we're finding in high protein fortification with dairy proteins, you still get off flavors. In our example, where we had a high amount of protein in this product and essentially an anhydrous system with no water, you're getting a residual lingering of cardboard, cooked flavors a little bit because all proteins are spray dried or somehow dried. That gives a little bit of a cooked flavor too. And then just a little bit of lingering bitterness because a high protein content can have bitterness. And that would be essentially for all proteins. But the plant proteins will be more the products that will have probably even more profound flavor issues.
And actually, another point, folks, that if we don't have any more questions, is just to remember that all of our products now, the products that we sell, that we still sell, the MM 100, 200, and 300 are still around. Those are called our legacy products. They're there, they're available. But we also have, these Magna branded products are they're customized, they're engineered by us, which means they can be modified. So anything we talk about in terms of the efficacy of the products, if you try it in your product as a sample and it doesn't quite work for you or you need any changes, we can change it. Whereas the legacy products, the 100, 200, 300, they were what they were. If they didn't work, there wasn't really a whole lot we could do. These are engineered, okay, just like a flavor. So that means that, a strawberry flavor would be if you wanted it more juicy and ripe. They could do that. We can do the same thing with, more temporal profile of the sugar, of the sugar profile, more salt reduction, less linger, all sorts of things. So just please keep that in mind. Okay.
Well, if nothing else, please reach out to us if you have questions after this. We're glad to work with you. We've got a lot of great new tools. We just had a kind of review of 5 examples, but there's a lot more we could actually talk about. If somebody came to us with pea protein fortification, we might have even a slightly different solution for that product.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Very much appreciate you attending. Now, this will be available, as Anthony said at the beginning, on demand because of your registration. Typically about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And you can go back to that link and hopefully get it. We will be sending it out as well to the attendees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate your time attending. Hope you found it informational.